So, first question is, it's about the sail barge.
Yeah.
It's great. It's massive. It's probably going to be a masterpiece. Something to be super proud of. And everybody's really happy that it's coming to market. However, it was only available in the U.S. and Canada. And they're European collectors who have friends that are helping them out, which is great, which is what the community is about. But is there a plan? I know particularly in Germany, there is a distributor apparently that is interested in it. Is it possible to bring this without maybe the HasLab goodies and able to have it available across the seas essentially?
This is a great question that I will let Patrick answer.
Thank you, Steve. So basically, answer is the same. So first and foremost, we want to say we obviously feel the frustration and pain on the part of our fans. The whole reason that we do everything we do, and particularly the barge, is all for them, and that's why we were so excited when we saw the success of the barge. As we've said, our fervent dream for the future is for it to be global from the start, but that just wasn't possible legally and logistically for the initial launch, which is why it had to be US and Canada only. As we've been saying, we are investigating ways to bring it internationally, and we will have, as Steve mentioned, an update on that in our panel tomorrow.
Everybody's really happy the vintage line is coming back. It is kind of, while everybody's happy it's coming back, it kind of ended up being this year one wave with a lot of repacks. What's the future of the vintage line? Are we going to be getting new figures in the vintage line?
So we can say definitively there will be new figures in the vintage line.
Yes.
So there were 3 waves this year, planned to be. So you're right, the first wave had a lot of repacks. Second and third waves are coming out later this year, and we have a lot of those figures in the case, which are great. It's interesting. I think we've tried to find the balance of new figures. Obviously, there are some great characters from the classic trilogy prequels, also from New Entertainment. But we know in the first wave, one of the fan favorites was that Rebel Hoth Soldier, which was technically a repack from the past.
Right.
So
it was hard to get, but we tried to make it more available to people who couldn't get it the first time.
Yeah. So we're trying to find that balance of how many repacks like that are compelling for fans. Because again, what we want to do is give fans the product they want, and then how many new characters to have. We'll be revealing several new vintage characters tomorrow in our panel, and those will start filling out the line for 2019. But our goal is to keep that going strong with enough new figures to be compelling for fans.
Yeah, I think we always try to offer as many new figures as possible, and make it work for everybody, while still being able to release certain figures that weren't available, like that Rebel Trooper, or and there's still fans out there that want like a Rey or a Jyn Erso that didn't get it the first time, and they want to see it in that cool retro packaging, which has never happened before. So we try to balance both, try to new and some old stuff to refresh.
Yeah, and that's great for getting new fans into the series.
And the wave that's coming out, so our August 1st wave, which should be in stores soon or might be trickling in already, it has that new Enfys Nest that I mentioned, which I think fans everywhere love from the new Solo movie. It also has the Imperial hover tank driver from Rogue One to pair with the tank that we released as well on August 1st.
Buy your tank, buy your driver.
Absolutely. It's got Han Solo from the Solo movie, and I think it also has the Imperial Death Trooper. So again, that's an example of, it is a repack, but the Imperial Death Trooper fans loved it. They loved that trooper design from Rogue One. We've heard from fans that Rogue One, it's right up there with the original trilogy. So we want to make sure we get those characters out there where it makes sense. And when we have something like that tank from Rogue One, that we're releasing those characters to build out around it that fans might not have gotten first time around.
Yeah, and since we're talking about Rogue One, there's a lot of interest in a Merrick figure and an X-Wing to go with that. Are we going to be maybe hearing about that tomorrow as well?
So we can't comment obviously on anything we're going to reveal.
We have some reveals,
But that's a great idea. We'll keep in mind for the future.
All right, great. The 6-inch Han Bespin is awesome. Best Harrison Ford likeness ever. why was it? I mean, it's got the exclusive and it's got just the regular run-of-the-mill everyday version. Not that it's
I wouldn't
boring.
say run-of-the-mill,
but
that's
the
some premium
got,
quality product.
It's got extra stuff. Why was basically the regular, the basic version released before the con?
So it's part of our August 1st wave. You're talking about the Han Solo Best Bin in mainline?
Yeah.
So it's part of our August 1st wave. So we know that it is trickling out in some retailers.
Yeah, it's not available like mass retail some people will put it out a little sooner and you can get it in certain places, but the thinking was like to release it first at Comic-Con. If you want it first, you could get it here for sure, and then August 1st it would be available everywhere. So you'd have a little bit of a window there to get it ahead of time.
So similar as we've done with past items, basically every year we have early releases of figures that'll be out and available in mainline later.
Yeah.
This year cut it close a little bit, but we're still hopeful that the fans get it here.
Yeah, great. All right. The European market is flying a little bit behind on release dates. A lot of that has to do with the Toys R Us closing their stores. What's the plan to improve this and to maybe find new distribution outlets for the products? And particularly maybe some exclusives that didn't make it out of like the Hasbro Team that only kind of got released in US and Canada but never made it overseas.
It's another great marketing directed question.
He's loving all the fun ones my way. So yeah, we say it every year, distribution is something that we are passionately kind of aware of is a pain point for our fans. I've said it at work, like, you guys want the product, we want to get the product to you. Like, we are absolutely both on the same page, and it's just about figuring out how to do that. We are going to say some things at the panel, some efforts we've made recently that I can tell you now. Starting in 2019, we will have less waves, and we'll have more new figures in every wave. We've heard from retailers, especially through our European counterparts, that with 6 waves a year, it's just too difficult for them to get to them all and move through them. So we're alleviating that by reducing the number of waves and increasing the number of figures. We're hopeful that that will help. And then we're taking feedback from people like you to feedback to our European counterparts so they can address it as well.
Is there any worry about the episode 8? There's been some fan backlash because of it. Solo hasn't, had box office success that they had hoped. And throw in Toys R Us stores closing. Is there a concern? Are we going to be slowing down distribution? You mentioned fewer waves, but more figures. Are we going to be about the same number of figures every year? We're thinking the same amount of product coming out.
Yeah, so I don't think we can comment on specific numbers, but in terms of your question about slowing down, Lucasfilm, we have the utmost faith in them. They have been great partners. The content that they're putting out, certainly it's been polarizing with some fans online, but it's been great content. Solo movie was fantastic. Fans loved that one. Last Jedi, I know, it was amazing. It was one of my favorite. Last Jedi did great at the box office, so we have 100% faith in them. We're matching the toy line as appropriately.
Yeah, and we're super excited about episode 9. We've started work on that already, and we have the highest expectations for how that trilogy will wrap up. So I think there'll be a huge fan interest in that, and we're going to continue to make all the great figures and characters that Lucasfilm has been cranking out the last few years.
So short answer is no. We've got our foot on the gas pedal and full steam ahead.
Great. I was just at the Clone Wars anniversary panel, and they announced that the Clone Wars is coming to Disney Direct Digital.
Fantastic.
Are we going to be seeing animated figures again?
So, like your earlier question, we can't comment with my PR friend right here. Can't comment on anything coming down the pike, but we'll have reveals on Friday, tomorrow, and if those aren't there, it's certainly something we'll consider for the future.
We love we like the Force features that you have now with the talking characters. It's great because we don't have all these little accessories that kind of get lost, like some of the older sets.
Force Link figures,
yeah. Force Link, yeah. There is a little bit of an issue with 2.0. They're experiencing people who buy multiple language versions of the figures can't update it because the website only allows them to update the language in which matches their IP. Is there a fix for this? Are we working on this? Is this going to be improved at some point?
That is a very good technical question that I guess I have to answer. But there were some issues with Force Link 2.0 that I know we had a team working on that very diligently. I know there was a group that they're trying to update and come up with some fixes. And the specifics of that I really can't get into, but I know that's being addressed as best we can, and trying to deliver the best experience possible and make 2.0 that much better than the first version.
And the one burning question is, Chirrut, why didn't he get I'm one with the Force is with me as one of his lines?
Oh, and Force Link?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, actually.
That's a good question.
That's surprising to me too. I'm that's another designer works on that. I'll ask him that. That's interesting. I'll have to find out.
All right, great. Comic-Con exclusive lottery system. Overall, I'm not sure people are happy with it. A lot of people I talked to didn't get it.
I think that there were good intentions there to not have people have to wait all night and sit up and wait to get passes and vouchers. So I think this is the first year they're trying it, and they'll probably get a lot of feedback and try to continue to improve it. But the goal is to try to make the best system so that it's not just about scalpers or people who want to resell it. It's also about kids who want to get it, or just fans, and the general public who wants to get every figure that they can. So it's a tricky thing to do it so that everybody gets it equally. And I know we've seen lines around the block, which ties up floor space, and that's a challenge. So I applaud them for trying to figure out the better way, and I think they'll just continue to try to improve it. But it is a Comic-Con policy, and we don't really have any influence over how that works. But like I said, I think they'll just keep working on it to try to make it better, so everybody can get what they want.
I think I kind of have similar thoughts here as Force Link. Like, we at Comic-Con are just sincerely always trying to make our products and our processes better for fans. There's sometimes kinks to work out, and we do that. I do know that the lottery system, I believe, is only in effect for today and tomorrow. On Saturday, it's just old school line. To Steve's point, trying to find a balance there.
Yeah.
And of course, all of the convention items, limited quantities, are available on HasbroToyShop.com after the convention. So we're hoping kind of between those three different systems that every type of fan is able to get them.
Yeah, and we do try to ration out some product for each day, but it doesn't always work out perfectly. But we try to make every effort so that people can buy what they want to buy and get the exclusives that they want.